Nope. And that's what we're concerned about. I'm going to gently coax them this way. Wow! Take it easy, buddy. No need to eat yourself. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video on my channel. My name is Dion, and you're watching Reptiliatus. Friends, today we are going to be doing a serious tarantula rehousing. I have quite a few spiders that have been molting and growing and definitely no longer fit in the enclosures that they are currently being housed in. So what we're gonna do today is rehouse them. It's a bit of a fun process. Sometimes it's tedious when you have flighty, very fast species, but I think we're gonna have a good time. And I know that this was also one of the most requested videos when I did a poll on my community page recently, so we're gonna go with this one. If you guys recall, I think it was like 3 weeks ago now, I did a really fun feeding video where my Chilobrachys species electric blue, almost climbed up my tongues. That was interesting. If you want to see the video, you can check out the link up above. Nonetheless, I digress. Yeah, it became very evident to me then that a lot of the animals were molting and a lot of the animals needed their rehousings. First, I want to mention once more that my name is Dion. I make videos about specialty pets such as reptiles, amphibians, and different kinds of cool invertebrates like the tarantulas you're going to see here today. So, if that's something you're interested in learning about and you want to see about 2 videos a week on the topic, definitely consider subscribing down below and dinging that little notification bell afterwards so you don't miss any of my future content. Now, because we have so many animals to rehouse, frankly speaking, my work desk where I have my computer and everything, it's just not enough room to properly escape the enclosures and set everything up. So we're actually gonna make our way to the living room, to my dining table, which is not going to be a dining room table today. It's going to be a tarantula enclosure crafting table. Let's make our way over there right now and get to work. I'll show you guys what we're working with. Welcome to the living room. As you can see, we have a lot of work ahead of us here. Let's go over what some of the things I have prepared are, the supplies we need, the different slings that we're going to be rehousing, and some of the juveniles as well. Okay, everybody, here we go. We got lots to do here. I got tons of corkwood that I've purchased here. We have a tarantula mix soil here. I like this because it holds its shape pretty well. And I mix it with some other products to get a consistency that I'm really happy with. And then here we have a catch cup. You just never know if someone wants to bolt. The reason why I'm using my Reptiliatus card that I use for my patrons here for writing letters. This slides under perfectly. It covers the surface area, and we can get the lid on safe. Got an arrangement of tools here. Different size paintbrushes for coaxing. Long tongs here for the old world species. And then just a few other pairs of tongs here. Water for misting. A few water dishes for the spiders that are large enough to have them when they get rehoused. And then here are all the teas that we're going to be rehousing. We got lots of enclosures here. Some containers here. Bunch of containers over here. So now that we've gone through exactly what we're going to be using to rehouse these animals, it's time to actually go through and have a look at exactly which tarantulas we are going to be rehousing today. So let's do that now. Get to work because we have quite a few animals on the table here to rehouse. Okay, everybody, so we have quite a few different tarantulas we're going to be rehousing today. First, we have my 2 Megaphobema robustums. There's a male here and then a female in this enclosure here. Then we have a Pterinochilus murinus, true color form. We have 2 green bottle blue slings. Well, they're not really slings anymore. 2 juveniles, unsexed. We have a Tliltocatl vagans over here. This is the Mexican red rump. Here we have a Poecilotheria miranda, another Poecilotheria miranda here. We have a Nhandu chromatus sling that we're going to be moving into something a little bit bigger. Next, we have a Tliltocatl albopilosus. This is the Nicaraguan variety that has that nice silver setae. Here we have Chilobrachys species Krachan. Slings down in there. Looks like they just molted as well, which is awesome. We have here a Brachypelma emilia. And then here we have a Lasiodora parahybana sling. Here we have a Brachypelma auratum sling. And then here we have a Brachypelma smithi sling. And lastly, we have a Tapinauchenius violaceus female. So it's going to be a lot of rehousing, everyone. And don't worry, I'm going to show the Latin names properly on the side here when we go through one by one. Okay everybody, the first tarantulas we're going to rehouse are my Megaphobema robustum pair. These are beautiful tarantulas. You can see here that I've preemptively drilled cross ventilation along the sides of the container to allow for some airflow through the sides, and this will help also maintain a certain level of humidity, not let things get too stagnant. The soil mix I'm going to be using here is a combination of things. We have some jungle bark, a little bit of cypress mulch, peat moss, some pure black earth, and then we'll add equal parts of the tarantula mix as well, which is I think primarily black earth. I've also added some activated carbon just to keep the soil a bit more fresh, you could say. Now I usually make my mix to be on the drier side, and then I add moisture substrate to it as needed depending on the species requirements. This way I'm not stuck with moist substrate for species that like to be kept drier. Here we're going to take this cork hollow I purchased and carefully split it in two. Each side will serve as a hide for the tarantulas. Whenever the opportunity presents itself, I always try to add live plants to my tarantula enclosures. I've actually made a video dedicated to this topic that outlines the benefits. You can take a look in the top right corner here, following the link. This here is a pothos cutting, and it's one of the hardiest plants hands down that you could add to the enclosure. It even survives in minimal lighting, as I often keep these enclosures stacked on a shelf with kind of a lot of shade, and they do quite well, so keep that in mind. It's a great option. Now comes the fun part. You have to carefully remove and coax the animal into the new enclosure. Megaphobema robustum is notorious for an interesting defensive posture where they actually rear up backwards and kick their hind legs at the threat. What's peculiar is they really stiffen up, and this sort of allows for me to gently pick the animal up as opposed to nudge them and get them right into the enclosure quickly to minimize stress. And voila! That was easy. Better than poking their abdomen a bunch of times to get them to go where I want them, if you ask me. Okay, beautiful. Let's get you in your home. Alright guys, she's almost there. Species is notorious for doing that kick thing with their back legs, so we're gonna just try and get her in a safe spot. Perfect. That wasn't so bad. Let's hope the male's is good. Now all I need to do is give her a water dish. Get a lid on. Alright, that went really well. Considering I didn't get haired like crazy, I'm calling that a win. Now we'll do the male. As you can see here, I'm preparing his enclosure the same way. I usually like to move some of the substrate back into the cork hollow so that they have the opportunity to dig it out. I think that's natural behavior, and I also see that as a form of enrichment for invertebrates. Alrighty, we're gonna remove the male here. He's, I think, a molt or so ahead of my female, so you'll notice he's a bit larger. As you can see, he's stiffening up and getting into that kicking posture. The back legs rear up. So we're going to gently try and scoop him out carefully so that we avoid hair kicking and additional stress. Okay, perfect. He's on the edge. Give him a last little nudge. Oops, wrong way. Let's get him back centered. There we go. Try your best to be mindful of how tarantulas respond to vibrations. Notice how when I dropped the tongs, he got spooked. When it comes to labeling all my tarantulas, I like to use this label maker so that I can keep everyone organized and know who's being kept in what enclosure. So as you can see, I'll just generate my labels, print them out, and place them on the enclosures. I'll provide a link down below in the description to a really good label maker you can purchase. Next up, we're going to rehouse my two Chromatopelma cyaneopubescens, which are the green bottle blue tarantulas that hail from Venezuela. These are beautiful tarantulas that prefer a drier substrate. So as you can see, I haven't added any of that tarantula mix because it's so moist. This keeps things dry the way they like it. We're gonna add a little bit of leaf litter and some bark for enrichment, and also opportunities for them to pin webs to and create their home, because these tarantulas, as some of you may or may not know, love to web over everything, and it makes for a really cool display. As you can see, the green bottle blue tarantula is a stunning species, but they are pretty skittish and prone to hair kicking, so we're going to be very calm and make use of that paintbrush. Almost there. Yep, easy does it. Last little nudge and perfect. There you go. Ah, this is going to be so great. Look at this beautiful spider. I think they're really going to enjoy this enclosure. I've prepared a second enclosure the exact same way as you saw before. You have the wood there, setting it up nicely. We'll add a water dish, and let's get this one in here too. Hopefully, they're going to cooperate as nicely as the first one did. We'll have to see. So far, so good. Very, very good. Okay, right on the edge. Let's go for a gentle little nudge, and... Okay. Cautious, but cooperating. There we go. I think this one may be female too, which is kind of cool. But yeah, let's gently coax their toes away from the edge of the top. We may not even need to. Oh, you going for a drink? Looks like it. All right, let's move on. Okay, so we have a few more slings that are going into this smaller size storage container. They're really perfect for those 1 to 3 inch slings. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and rehouse this beautiful Brachypelma emilia. Let's hope that we can do this with minimal hair kicking. Please cooperate. I promise I'll be nice to you. Yep, okay. Very good, very good. Nice and easy. Gentle, gentle. You got it. No, it's okay. You're good. It is kind of wholesome that they often don't want to actually leave their enclosure, so it kind of speaks to like them actually sensing some level of security in the home they're used to. Just gonna get her down. Perfect. All right, next up we have this beautiful little Tliltocatl vagans here. Let's rehouse them. Okay, so as you can see, this one's behaving a little bit more defensively, rearing up, sort of holding its ground. But now that we're coaxing it sideways, it is starting to move the way we want it to, and we're going to be able to carefully get them into the new enclosure. Now, knock on wood and all, but if you guys also keep tarantulas, you must hopefully also be impressed by the way that none of these spiders have kicked urticating hairs at me yet. It's a testament to my professionalism in the way that I approach this process. Now, all jokes aside, I think I've gotten very lucky, but it does have a lot to do with being calm and moving patiently and trying not to startle the animals. Perfect, we can move on. Now, for today's question of the day, I'd like to ask you all, am I asking you a question or are we having a bit more of a conversation here? One of the questions or comments I get quite frequently on my tarantula related content is folks who are suggesting that the animal should be kept in glass aquariums or terrariums. And one of the things I want to discuss with you is that, frankly speaking, this does not affect the animal whatsoever. What's important is that they're given adequate space, food, water, shelter. The appearance of the enclosure is an aesthetic thing for our viewing pleasure, more so than it is anything else for the animal. In fact, a lot of the containers I use, I feel, help promote humidity levels that are necessary for a lot of these species a lot better than some of the commercially available enclosures because of their lack of enclosed humidity. Now, I'm curious to know, for today's question, what you think about this, because I'd love to have a discussion about it. A lot of people want to keep their animals in very clear viewed enclosures, and more power to you. I think that's a great idea, but I use the cheap alternative, which are these large Tupperware containers for various sizes of animals, and I find that this works really well for the tarantulas. So, with that being said, I'm very curious to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section down below, and as always, I'll give your comment a heart, and we can engage in a little bit of a conversation. Thanks for answering today's question. Okay, next we're gonna rehouse my T. albopilosus, the Nicaraguan variety. This was a freebie that I received from Tarantula Canada some time ago. Now, normally I don't encourage any type of free handling, but with a tiny little New World sling like this, I'm just going to coax them onto my hand and place them into the enclosure. The next tarantula we are rehousing is my tiny little Brachypelma smithi sling. This is a very similar species to the Brachypelma hamori, but you'll notice in the adults that the patterning or coloration on the knees is slightly different. Hello there. Hi, small friend. Okay, there you go, never to be seen again. Oh, that's so cute. Perfect. So next here we are rehousing a small little 1-inch Lasiodora parahybana, which is the salmon pink bird eater. We're going to gently coax the animal out of its hiding and place it into the new sized enclosure. So we're going to use the pill vial here that my Lasiodora parahybana was in, and we're going to rehouse one of these slings on the table. So I'm going to put some substrate in, a little bit of moss, a little piece of wood. I'm going to add a little bit of water, just like that. And now we're going to go ahead and rehouse my Nhandu chromatus sling, which is like super tiny in there. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so here they are. Goodness gracious, this is a tiny spider. It's a very small one. Okay, I'm going to gently coax them this way. Wow! Take it easy, buddy. No need to yeet yourself. Okay, they are safe and secure in their new home. Lots of more real estate. Must be nice. And perfect. Next up, we're rehousing my tiny little Chilobrachys species Krachan. This is a beautiful dark colored Asian old world species. We're going to gently coax them out, and you know the drill by now. It's going into a nice new enclosure. I'm going to gently pull apart this web material and find the animal. Normally I'd be a lot more cautious, but we're dealing with a really tiny spiderling, which you can see right there. So I can actually safely just lower this whole clump of soil and webbing down into the enclosure to securely and gently put it in its new home. Alright everybody, so I gotta say I'm pretty happy that we somehow managed to do most of those hair kickers real easily. Now things are gonna get very interesting, and the reason for that is that we're about to rehouse some arboreal species. These are all juvenile animals that are gonna be going into these Betty Crocker cookie containers that I've drilled for cross ventilation and drill the tops for ventilation. The way I do this is by using a Dremel tool. I'll have the link down below in the description, because really this is a essential tool that you can use if you're a tarantula keeper to create ventilation in all sorts of different size containers to allow for, well, using them to house your animals. Afterwards, the grand finale will be the orange bitey thing, OBT, Pterinochilus murinus, Usambara orange baboon tarantula. So best for last, scariest for last. It's gonna be interesting. All right, everyone. So we're gonna rehouse Tapinauchenius violaceus. The purple tree spider is the common name for this one. Let's go ahead and get some substrate in here at the bottom. Now, this arboreal species will use some of this substrate to probably create more of a shelter. They'll mix web material with it. It's kind of interesting how that works. That should be enough. We just want enough substrate that it'll hold the humidity. And then what we're going to do from there is add some wood that the animal will be able to web around and create shelter. So I'm just going to add some water. And we're going to take a few branches like this, big pieces like that, throw them in like that. And that should actually be good. Now we have to get the animal in there. Put my water dish in somewhere that I'm happy with it. All right, so we got our bin. I'm going to sort of center this here. The spider is in this enclosure here. And now, that's the fun part. Okay, oh, feisty girl. Okay, so she's coming up the side. So what we want to do, turn it that way so when she runs up, she'll just follow through and exit, if that works. Unfortunately, right now though, she is being a bit defensive, which makes our task a little bit more tricky. Come on, girl. You're good, you're good. Keep moving, keep moving. Okay. Yep. A little higher. And in you go. Up, just over the edge. Come on. Go in. Please don't make this harder than it needs to be. Yes! And lid is on. Man, I'm getting lucky. I really hope that the last one here, that orange bitey thing, isn't gonna be too bad, but that was good. Next up, we're going to rehouse my two Bengal Ornamental Tarantulas, the Poecilotheria miranda. These are one of my favorite species in the genus that hail from India, and well, I think they're going to like these new grow out enclosures. We just got to get our water dishes in and filled, and then it's the fun part. This is going to be interesting. So this is one of the Poecilotheria mirandas. I'll go ahead here and use a very tall pair of tongs. Here they are. Whoop. Go back that way, please. Spider's being a bit defensive. Up you go, come on. Yep. Nope. The other way. Please and thank you. Yep. That way. Come on. Yep. Okay. Da-na-na-na. Oh, shoot. Okay. Stay off the ground, friend. Yep. Okay. Hopping over. Come on. Yes. Okay. And that's how it's done. Okay, one down. This one looks like it just molted as well. This is another Poecilotheria miranda. I'm really hoping that at least one of these is female. They've become pretty uncommon. I don't see too many of this species. Okay. So right off the bat, I'm making a mistake here. You'll see that this is where the handle groove is. I want as much flat surface area as possible on the container. So I'm going to turn that around like that so that she'll run right up the side and into the next enclosure if all goes well. Naturally, the animal doesn't want to leave its enclosure because it feels its web, it feels a sense of security. But little does she know, there's a bigger home for her waiting. So we'll keep saying she, but honestly, I should say they. Who knows? Okay, come on, friend. You're good. Keep going. So you can see there, I don't know if you can make that out. This one does have a bit of a larger abdominal banding. You can kind of see there that the stripe is pretty big. So I'm really hoping this one ends up being a girl. Right on the abdomen there. Okay, let's get her in. No dilly-daddling. I'm really playing with fire here. I don't want her to bolt while I'm holding this. Nope. And that's what we're concerned about. Whoo! This is why I need that wide open space. It can happen. It can happen. We got her on the floor. Everything's okay. It's interesting. We get to put the catch cup to use, right? So I was hoping we wouldn't have to, but here we are. We're putting the catch cup to use now. So literally all we're going to do is match these, slide that out carefully, and we have the animal contained safely. There you go. All right, let's try that again. I'm just going in sideways with a paintbrush. We're going to coax her down into the enclosure, just like that. Lid comes on, spider is secure. All right, friends, it is time for the moment of truth. We are going to be rehousing the Pterinochilus murinus. The enclosure here is set up nicely. I'm pretty happy with how it looks. I've emptied out a very large bin because there's no way we're doing it in a little one that doesn't fit both containers. We're getting serious over here. We're bringing this here, whatever way it fits. And here's the orange bitey thing. Okay, here we go. The spider just gonna go in by themselves? That would be wonderful. I don't expect that to happen, but we can try. Whoa! Oh shoot. No. Alright, well, it's officially defensive now, which is understandable. Please trust me. I mean well. My intention is to put you in a beautiful new home. I think you're gonna love it. Just trust me here. Trust me, all right? Let's try again with the brush. You're good. You're good. You're good. Come on. Okay. Now the animal is in a flighty position. You saw that last threat posture happen, and now they're flighty. So we're gonna be ready here. Catch cup. We want them bolting this way. Okay. This is good. This is good. We're happy with this. Now we just need our lid, and we have them. Lid in. Spider locked in. Boom! Okay. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. OBT secure. You got a nice hideout in there. Enjoy. Well, everybody, there you have it. I sincerely hope you enjoyed watching today's video where I rehoused all these tarantula slings and young juveniles. It's always very rewarding to see the animals moved into larger enclosures that they can continue to grow and develop in, move around through, hopefully feel some sense of enrichment with all the different decor and dynamic pieces of wood and leaf litter and such that they can navigate through. Because even though these are invertebrates, we want to try and give them some form of enrichment too whenever possible. I'm really looking forward to giving you guys updates, as I've said in the past, on how they'll sort of web up or excavate and make it their own space. And I think that'll be evident if you compare it from this video to the next feeding video, which will probably be in a few weeks, and you'll recognize some of these enclosures from how they look like now and how they'll look like then. That all being said, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought about the rehousings. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, I'm always happy to try and answer them. And if you could do me a favor and give this video a thumbs up, it would mean the world to me. Really helps the video do better, tells the algorithm you enjoyed it and that it should recommend it to more people. I'll leave it at that. If you want to see another video about tarantulas, check out the playlist up above here. And I can't wait to see you all for my next video. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful week.